Completing lubrication sampling jobs in iReliability generally follows the same workflow as any other job, with the exception of viewing oil sample reports that have been submitted by the oil lab. Keep in mind, this only applies if your oil lab is using the iReliability oil lab interface. Otherwise, you would complete a lubrication sampling job just like any other job in iReliability. For this demo, we will complete a lubrication sampling job that has been split into two different activities, one for the collection of the samples and one for the analysis of the sample results. First, let's review how to complete the collection job. When your collection job is ready to start, you can open the job on the Ready for Activity tab on the Work Execution page. In a collection job, all you are communicating is that the sample has or has not been collected. If you have several locations that cannot be collected for whatever reason, such as machine not running, you can select those and assess those locations in one click using the Assess All Line Items functionality. You can assess the locations one at a time as well by clicking on the Make Assessment link. You will be asked to choose a collection state from the drop-down menu. Select the state that applies to what it is that you are trying to communicate. You can also leave an optional comment if desired. When you have finished, click on the Continue button. Your location will now be flagged as assessed. The completion of a collection job is very straightforward. When you have completed all assessments, simply close the collection job by clicking on the Close Assignment button. When you assess the locations in the collection job, the state of the location is communicated in the analysis job. The analysis job will also be located on the Ready for Activity tab on the Work Execution page when it is ready to start. As stated, when the locations are assessed in the collection job, the state is communicated back to the analysis job. This way, the analyst always knows the state of the sampling process. The analysis job will read No Sample Collected if a sample was not collected. If a location in the collection job was assessed as Sample Collected, the state in the analysis job will read Awaiting Lab Results. When the lab has submitted results back to iReliability for a location, the state will read Make Assessment. The analyst can click on the Make Assessment link to view the lab results and determine the state of the equipment based on those results. When the lab results appear, the analyst looks at the data and determines the state of the equipment. Click on the Create Assessment button to enter an assessment state against the location. Here, the analyst can enter an assessment of no problem, communicate that the data is under review because they cannot determine the exact problem, or the analyst can enter a fault entry if a problem exists. For this demo, let's assume there's an identified defect with this location. The analyst may want to include information from the lab report to the fault entry. The lab report is interactive. You can click on a category header or data item in a category, and a trend of the data results will be generated. If the analyst wants to attach this trend to the fault entry, you can simply enter a short description for the trend and click on the Attach to Assessment button. The trend will be attached. You can always edit the description or remove the attachment if you decide you don't want to include this information. Next, click on the Create Assessment button. Since we have identified a problem, we want to click on the Add Information link for the Defect Identified selection. On the Linked Information tab for the fault entry, you can see that the trend we attached to the assessment is in place. You can link other information to the fault entry as well. On the Add Files tab, you can add a file by giving the file you want to link a name and description. Choose the appropriate linked item type that describes the file, such as case study, warranty, procedure, etc. Next, simply browse to the file and upload it. On the Add Web Links tab, you can reference a web page or site. Give the web link a name and description, and also choose the linked item type that best describes the web link. Simply key in the URL in the format listed and click on the Enter Link button. On the Add Images tab, you can add additional images if desired. Let's run through how to do that. First, give the image a name and description. Next, choose the linked item type that best describes the image. If you want the image to show up on your assessment report, you must choose the item type Condition Data Snapshot or Wide Condition Data Snapshot. Click the Browse button to browse to the image. Double-click on the image you want to link to the fault entry. Click on the Upload button to upload the image to iReliability. You'll be able to crop the image using the cropping grid if desired. When you're finished, click on the button above the image. Your image will be linked to the fault entry. Next, click on the Assessment State tab and complete the fault entry information. There are several pieces of information in the fault entry form. First, choose the severity of the fault entry, and then select the part where the defect is located and the failure mode, or identified defect. If the appropriate part and failure mode are not in the lists, you can click on the Add Part and Failure Mode links and add as necessary. Adding parts and failure modes is contingent on user rights. You can enter a work request and work order number if desired, and any comments you want to communicate. These fields are optional. Next, enter your analysis comments. These comments are required and to communicate how you identified the defect. Finally, enter the repair recommendation. These comments are required as well. The repair recommendation communicates what you suggest to correct the defect. Click on the Submit Your Changes button when you are finished. When you have finished assessing all locations in the analysis job as necessary, you can click on the Close Assignment button. After you have closed your job, you can view your assessment report on the Reporting tab. Click on the Condition Assessment Assignment link. A list of all closed assignments will be generated. Click on the View Web Page link next to your closed assignment. Note, if you want to print your report or save it as a document, click on the View Print Report link. Your assessment report will be generated for you to view. It will include all assessments you have made in your job and will include any linked information you entered as well. There is a link at the top of the report that will allow you to view the oil sample data. Click on this link to view the report. The oil sample report will be generated. All interactive trending links are available for you to use when you are viewing this report.